Salut tout le monde, it's your boy Adero, Lukael. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. This is episode 24. We're approaching the end. It's coming closer. She's coming soon. What is coming? Who's coming? I don't know, but hopefully we find out soon. So look, no long intro for you guys. This is part 24. If you're watching this part, you've watched everyone before. I don't need to do a recap. You're locked in. You're in for the long haul. So thank you for clicking this video and giving me a small part of your day. And without any further ado, let's jump right in. Here we are in the office of our new best friend, Everard. So yeah, just a very quick recap. In the last episode, we made the song in the church harder core. We went through like a bunch of tasks and side quests that I had left over. And then we had a nice talk with Everard, who taught us some very interesting information. Now, ooh, I have 3 skill points. The big thing he told us is that he arranged a meeting with the person who has our gun. Someone's been running around with your sidearm pretending to be a police officer. You must meet her near the old fish market at 22. Get your service weapon back. Just walk past the fishing village until you see the boardwalk. Now, it's not nearly 10 in the evening. It's only 2. So how are we gonna spend the time until then?
Mr. Dubois, every worker...
Well, let's get out of here for now. Leo, do you have anything to say?
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back. No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
Leo, you seem to know everyone around here. I want to ask about someone.
Mr. Everett doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
Okay, we can ask about a bunch of people. Tell me about the guy in the container.
Who do you mean, mister?
He's rubbing his nape and looking at you with childlike innocence.
You do realize he might just be a figment of your imagination, right?
No, he's not. Kim saw him. Kind of. The fancy guy in a suit in that container over there.
I don't know anyone like this, mister. Maybe he's one of Mr. Everett's fancy friends. He knows all kinds of fancy people with suits and purdy carriages.
Purdy?
He really feels very uncomfortable discussing matters related to Everett with you.
Tell me about Mañana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes.
Why are you hesitating?
Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Well, that's a very important task.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Tell me about Measurehead.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that.
That was kind of my reaction the first time I talked to him. I didn't really understand what he was talking about. I think now I do.
Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, probably not. Tell me about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Yeah, you know, Titus turned out to be a pretty nice guy. Little man rubs a patch on his elbow. Tell me about René.
The night guard. He was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker.
Yeah, unfortunately. Tell me about Everard.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer. Tell me about this Edgar guy you keep mentioning.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say.
So, I had a theory that the Everard we're talking to is actually Edgar, and that they've done one of their little switcheroos. I don't know what for. I don't know what the purpose of it would be, but I'm still not convinced that's not the case. It's still a theory for me. He's looks a bit younger, another typo. Some people in the comments seem to get really mad that I was saying the game has a lot of typos, and like, it's not, I'm not shitting on the game. I love this game. It's just a fact that there's a lot of typos in it. And like, people were like, well, there's so much text, like, of course there's gonna be some typos. Like, not necessarily. Like, books have hundreds, thousands of pages and thousands of words, and usually don't really have typos in it. It's just a matter of someone reviewing the text and like making sure there's no mistakes. It's not a big deal, really. It's just something I can't help but notice. Let's not interrupt. Maybe he's gonna tell us more.
All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the Union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
How can you even tell them apart? I mean, I guess I'll know once I actually meet the other guy.
South Safari. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made too. The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
The expression on his wrinkled face says, I really want to help you. Alright, I'm off. Thanks, Leo. Container, container. Dip, 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 dip. How much time do I have to let pass between me checking the locusts again? Because in game time, I pretty much just put them there, right? I just kind of want to talk to everyone again and see if anyone has like new dialogue, you know? So the mercenary guy is still here, still pretending he's a scab. And I don't really get why he pretends to be a scab, because Joyce told us that these Cornell guys were hired to protect her. At least that's what she said. So here he is pretending to be a scab, I guess, because he wants to... I guess because he's trying to break the strike, but like that's not what they were hired for. He's supposed to be investigating the death of his fellow Cornell mercenary, and he's not gonna get that from just being here. So I don't really get what his deal is.
Right to work! Right to work! Sure.
You know, I was really kind of hoping I was gonna find Clausier's passport hidden on the beach, but I didn't find it, so... Because we can tell her all these things, right? Confront her about like, oh, you lied about your name, you lied about this, as if we know. So I feel like we're supposed to maybe be able to find the proof somewhere, but I haven't found it.
Hey, was there something you needed?
Well, well. Bringing him that new bird sure made a difference in his attitude.
Well, that's good. Alright, I wanted to go back to the apartment building. Oh, I think the interfacing on this was stealing the map, but I already bought it, so... This should probably disappear from your list of things then. This one also. This one, I think also this one I was maybe able to steal? So I have 2 volition rolls. 2 volition rolls and 2 conceptualization rolls. So we could put a point in those. Although they are already very high. Conceptualization, not so much. We could put a point in that, sure. And then... My half-light is very low. I could put a point in that. Sure. Right, so conceptualization was for... the backyard wall again, and then Soona, right, for the antenna. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish every side quest in this game. I hope so. Oh, there's another poster. A message has been carved into the wall. Trance Nation! Ache Nation! Yeah! Alright, let's try the goddamn wall again. I need to get it at some point, right? Conceptualization.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Oh man, that's still only 28%. Gotta try it.
Because you see it.
Yes!
Finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors.
Let the conceptual joy flow into your pupils and blossom into thoughts in your brain.
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
More!
O Wall Father.
Kim, I must paint this wall, add even more beauty into it.
Huh? He sounds tired of it all.
Aw.
You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush.
Wait,
This
I have
is
oil?
on.
Oh yeah, the tankard of oil? I thought it was empty though. First, I know you're tired, Kim, but take another look at this wall. Draw nourishment from its beauty.
Sure.
The lieutenant looks up at the wall reluctantly, then back at you. I already have the paint. Just need to get a paintbrush from Cindy the Skull.
If you must.
He sighs, then adds in a resigned tone. Sure, whatever you want to do. He's so resigned to his fate. Another poster! An old poster hidden below new ones. Arno van Eyck, 49. The Colosseum! Should I keep conceptualization? I guess so. Actually, I wanted to check the doors again inside this building because I remember I think some of them were closed. Right? Oh. Book 16 Days of Coldest April. How did I miss that the first time? The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. So this door here is closed. Hello, ma'am.
Give me a moment.
I have a few questions about those.
Ask away, policeman.
Wait, did I never ask any of these? Maybe they just weren't available the first time I talked to her. Right, because I talked to her before looking at any of the doors. Do you know who lived in the foreclosed apartment?
The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
The cleaning lady shrugs, her mouth puckered like a dried fig.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there.
The foreclosed oh, this one here. I guess because there's like a thing on the door. Why is there a hole in the wall in the abandoned apartment?
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
Is one of the residents on vacation? Their mailbox is overflowing.
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
Alright, so she doesn't have much to say. Who lives in apartment number 10?
No one lives there. It's been empty for months.
I don't remember which one 10 is. I talked to someone through the door?
Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there.
She pauses, eyeing the hallway.
Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
Sure, I'll go see what I can find.
Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
Who lives behind the padlocked door?
Oh, that one is a scientist. A future scholar.
Suddenly, the old lady's face is beaming. She's all about education.
I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study.
Astrology?
Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
You mean the star and antlers? I think that's the symbol of communism. Are you sure you don't mean astronomy? Yeah, the stars, they're like a symbol of communism.
The symbol of what now?
What now? Communism, you know, like in the World Revolution. You know, the ones who support the working class against capital. It's an ideology. Has some noble aims, but it's also been used to justify terrible bloodshed. It's for loons who have no idea how economy works. It's a symbol for contributing to the demise of our noble state in the name of some made-up world of equality. Communism. It's a political ideology. You know, like in the World Revolution?
Never heard of it.
Before another coughing spell takes hold of her, okay. Tell me about the man who lives at the end of the hallway, Uno de Ruyter.
I don't want to talk about the waiters.
The cleaning lady mutters. She starts digging for something in her pockets. Why not?
Addicts. All of them. And sometimes I hear them screaming.
Yeah, I bet.
They don't like me cleaning behind their door. Think I'm listening in on their fights.
So she doesn't. Not after that one time. There's a that one time here. It didn't get physical. She heard something she doesn't want to hear again.
Oh boy.
We saw unpaid utility bills. Aren't they going to be evicted?
No one likes them in this building. It's only because of the kids they haven't been thrown out. I don't like talking about those people.
Well, I'm sure no one likes the kid either. Little shit, little gremlin. That's all, thanks.
She mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
So, apartment 10. Which one is 10? You've seen an exceptionally beautiful wall in Martinez near the pier and have decided to add to its beauty artistically. This will take a brush first. Who would have one? Then paint and then the act itself. Yeah, I have this, a banged up fuel canister, but I thought it was empty. Red dyed fuel oil inside looks like paint. Oh, okay, so I guess there is oil inside.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
This apartment is supposed to be empty. Did you break in here?
Excuse me? Of course not.
Scare them. Suspected of some big crime. There's no sweet talking your way in there. Be official.
I don't need a warrant if I suspect there's been a break-in. Then open the door so I can verify your identity. Are you cooking morphine in there? Let me verify who you are then.
Oh, come on.
There's a pause before you hear the door being unlocked.
Well, that was easy.
That was smart.
The lieutenant says, nodding toward the unlocked door. Let me put on my official jacket on first. And my armor, you never know. Oh, hello. Who the hell is this? Ooh, black monk straps. +1 to indirect modes of taxation. That's a thought I already have, right? That's a shame that's the only bonus with it. Actually, with those pants, I should put on these boots. That's much better. Affluent money maker, man. These Pearl and Ingersoll shoes have no lacing but a strap and a buckle. Due to their elegant and affluent design, they have been described as the most advanced dress shoe. So advanced, in fact, that walking through slush and mud does not leave a single trace on them. That's nice. It sucks that they don't really give me any bonus. Because I already have that thought, I think. This is a very small apartment. Looks like a fine mattress. Don't be ridiculous. You can hear it swarming with bugs. Ew. Like, I've never seen something swarming with bugs so bad that you can hear them. Could it be the phasmid? No, probably not. That's a lot of thoughts. A blister pack of medicine peeks out of the box. You should take it. Yeah? Hypnogamma? Nice. So, who are you?
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see?
She jingles a set of keys in her hand. Marielle Charpentier. Oh, she's a real estate agent. That's a beautiful smile you've got.
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there. More than 20 at least. Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously hating you.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
She fumbles through her purse, fishing out a light paper-clad passport. Sure.
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside, along with all her personal details. Be friendly.
Nice haircut. And back the password. Everything seems to be in order. Be friendly. Nice haircut.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place.
Sounds like they knew how to have a good time. Reprehensible. Who lived here? I fuck shit up too.
It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent.
A moribund old man. Could it be René or Gaston?
A sudden serious look crosses her face. This story didn't have a happy ending.
But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry.
Who lived in the foreclosed apartment down the hallway?
Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall.
Yeah, that's how I got in.
A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
She snaps her fingers.
The sum must have been puny. Oh, it irks her. The incompetence.
My money has also disappeared, I think. Couldn't have been that much money. These apartments look pretty shabby. I don't think my money disappeared. I think I just drunk it. Couldn't have been that much money.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable.
Oh, you don't have to sell it to me.
I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
The radio computer wizards are invested with magical economic powers. It's as if they're real wizards, able to resurrect dead real estate and breathe life into bank accounts.
So what happened with the wall?
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it.
Well, you use the money that the other tenants are paying you. That's how being a landlord works.
Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
She's still shaking her head, manicured hands now crossed over the chest. I guess that's all?
Of course.
She replies with a smile, but her eyes remain glazed over. She's been waiting for you to leave. I mean...
What now? Of course.
You're still kind of suspicious, but okay. So she's a real estate agent. I guess she represents whatever company owns this building.
Give me a moment.
I didn't find any counterculture people in apartment 10. It was just a real estate agent setting up the room for new tenants.
I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
She takes out her handkerchief and wipes her nose. Yes, radio computer wizards are coming. They're gonna save the place and the economy. No one is coming. There will be nothing but squalor unless we start killing real estate agents. Lax women and sexual deviants, that's who'll come. I'm sure everything will be fine. This apartment building needs slow change. Imperceptibly slow. I feel like this is an old lady, so she probably needs comforting and also to be told that nothing's gonna change that much.
Yes. Well, I hope they're good people.
Your statements are too vague to comment on.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm off. What's up, girl?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Well, I will once you do it. Cindy, I'm gonna need your paintbrush.
What for?
I'm doing renovation. It's boring but necessary. For my motor carriage, we're going undercover. The apocalypse is coming. I need to warn people. For art. It's for art, okay?
Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about?
Her eye narrows to slits. To be honest, I haven't really thought of anything yet, but I'm sure I will. Everything is sad and shit and we need art to make it okay. Just give me the brush. Grand art. Art deluxe. The artsiest, the most groundbreaking, the... I haven't really thought of it yet, but I'm sure I will.
Then you have time to find your own fucking brush.
To crush a man's dreams like that, I hope you're happy.
There, Piggy. I guess art just isn't really you. 'Cause you suck in life and in everything.
Let me put on my conceptualization outfit on.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Attempt to explain your artistic intentions.
They do say the painter always paints his own portrait.
Man, that's lame. I'm going to paint a self-portrait, but sort of, you know, from the inside to show people what it's like.
That's pretty fucked up. Even for you, piggo.
Stop belittling me, Cindy. What if I had some interpretive dance? Okay, I won't do that. Please just give me some paint and a brush. I need to do some art.
You're a real sad sack. You know that? Go ahead then. Art it up. Just try not to hurt yourself. And no self-portraits.
She drops the paintbrush at your feet. Thanks, Cindy.
Sure, anytime. Us shit artists have to help one another. Besides, I was out of fuel oil anyway.
She looks down at the wall and frowns.
She only gave it to you because she doesn't see you as competition.
Okay, that's fair.
The right idea is not coming to her. It's excruciating.
Hate when that happens.
You know what you've got in that fuel canister you scavenged from your Kanema? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil. Yeah. Paint and a brush. You're ready to do this.
Catch you later, Cindy. Ooh, there it is. Cindy's brush. A paintbrush belonging to Cindy the Skull, an aspiring artist. Its bristles smell nauseatingly of heavy fuel oil. Specks of red, orange, and green paint cover the aluminum ferrule. I do wonder what happens if you actually succeed your conceptualization there. I wonder. Actually, I want to do that so I can go paint. Because that's a really low roll. I guess you can't win them all. Sounds like an obscure live performance in a dirty underground bunker. Okay. Alright, let's paint it up.
The paintbrush in your hand is like a loaded revolver. What will it be, Desperado? Quite a few things come to mind.
Oh my god. Fuck the police. I love you, Kuno, mother of all walls. What shadow lies there beneath the bright gleam? Draw a 3,500-year-old pictogram of a human being. Renee lives. Something beautiful is going to happen. No parking. Let the war... Oh my god. That's so many funny choices. Damn. I want to try all of these. Something beautiful is going to happen. You know, that's so optimistic. That's so positive. I'm kind of tempted to pick that one. But also, what shadow lies there beneath the bright gleam? That's also very poetic. I don't know what the fuck it means, but surely it would inspire someone. I Love You, Kuno's very funny, but it's kind of creepy. Renee lives. God, I want to try all of these. I want to go with something optimistic. The little pose.
You've spoken. The wall will now silently repeat the message for a decade or so, until the sea air degrades the paint, adding another layer of detritus to the city.
That's so... It's like so straight. It's almost like in a font. That's really impressive, actually, that you would write like in such a consistent format on like a big surface. Wow.
Very poetic. Real poetry. Should we return to our murder investigation? I hear there's a really bad one we are supposed to solve.
It doesn't sound sincere. Do I still have the brush? Oh, I lost the brush? How did I lose the brush? Now I can't return it to her. I mean, it's not really art. I guess a graffiti is kind of art. A graffito. I thought he was going to draw something, like paint a picture. But all your choices are just text, I guess, except the pictogram. Not sure what that would have looked like. I lost your brush, Cindy.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
I can't even tell her about it. Something beautiful is going to happen. Maybe it makes someone happy, you know? I don't know. It was that, or like where the shadow gleams, or whatever bullshit, which is kind of poetic, but I don't know. I wonder if Kuno has anything to say about that. Yo, Kuno.
Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet graffito action, pig. Kuno likes that delinquent shit.
Yeah? You like art, Kuno? Papa's bad to the bone, Kuno. Rotten to the core. Thank you, Kuno. I really appreciate it.
You're still a dink. Now what's your case with Kuno?
He says without malice. Alright.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
See ya, kid. Now, should I share the information I got with Joyce? I wonder.
You're back. Good. What can I help?
She's not even asking you anything.
Oh, I can't actually tell her anything about it. Interesting. I thought some of the stuff he told me would definitely interest her, but I don't actually have the option to tell her anything.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast.
Huh. Okay, well, that's that then. Let's go to the church. Here we have yet another conceptualization roll.
Yes, what is it?
70% acquainted with local landmarks, +1 cavalry officer's perspective. What? Cavalry officer? Boring cop. I mean, that's pretty high.
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. The wind pushes a piece of tear across the cracked tiles. From the north comes the malicious laughter of two children.
Turn to face the bay.
Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. From behind you, a low, spectral voice whispers, "Nay."
Turn to face the apartments.
Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster, and corrugated sheet metal. The voice again, more urgent now. "Nay, just a moment. That voice isn't human, and it's not saying nay. It's saying nay."
The statue! It's the statue. We can use the statue as an antenna.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The statue of Philip III.
The dead king and his horse. It could work.
Really?
It may work, you think, but why do you feel like there may be a terrible cost?
Well, people hate that fucking statue anyways, right?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
Let her think.
It's completely ridiculous. but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by our own audacity.
We shall call it the Herald of Destruction. As long as it gets the job done, I'm not interested in the details. That's a very big antenna.
Yes, very likely the largest private antenna in Revachol. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
She's so into this now. She's like, I'll secure the power supply. I'll give you my cables. Where am I supposed to find the radio transceiver?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own. Can't we just use your REM prefect? Do radio computers have transceivers in them? Oh yeah. I think I saw a radio in that office near the harbor. Do radio computers have transceivers in them?
Certainly, though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother. Just find a regular radio.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall.
I just wanted to give you a chance to gloat about your fucking car, Kim. I know it's your baby. On second thought, this is childish. I'm just going to look for a regular radio. Alright, Kim? Challenge accepted.
There is no need to go out of your way to find a top-shelf radio for this purpose. As long as it's functional, that is what counts.
I think I saw a radio in that office near the harbor. I'm not sure what office I'm talking about.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio.
Oh, the booth? Like René's booth? Or, oh no, I think it's the office when the door next to Measurehead, right? Alright, I guess I need to find one of these transceivers then.
In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Sure we will. Alright. The office near the harbor. That has to be that office next to Measurehead. But there's probably a few different options in the game, actually. Maybe you can buy one at the pawn shop. Ooh, this thing here?
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounges, and other semi-public spaces all over the world.
I mean, we could just bring the whole thing. Kim, how do I get the transceiver out of this thing?
There's usually a little switch somewhere. Ah yes, it's the one that says release.
The lieutenant points to the side of the radio, flip the release switch.
The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove the transceiver unit.
Perfectly adequate transceiver.
There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size of a common pasta box, with knobs of molded plastic. What else is there to say? If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm. Perfectly competent, but unexceptional.
Reliable and unassuming, my kind of transceiver. There's something ominous about this radio transceiver. It's an ill omen. Yeah, this'll do.
Very good. Let's get going then.
The transceiver appears glad to be of service.
Do you think we'll actually be able to reach the coalition with this?
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation. But I have to say, it still seems like a remote scenario.
He shrugs. Well, I'm about to surprise you one more time, Kim. How does this compare to your Dynawave, Kim?
It doesn't, frankly. Don't get me wrong. This appears to be a fine transceiver for a general audience. But it's not something a serious radiohead would use.
Well, I guess this will just have to do then. Clench your fist. I'll show you yet, Kitsuragi.
Show me what, detective?
The lieutenant seems immensely pleased by your irritation.
With its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing. It is as silent as a headstone.
Okay, I need to find a better one for sure. I can't let you get away with this, Kitsuragi. What about the radio computer in the old studio? That's probably gonna be like an interfacing check to get it out of there. But we could probably do it. Yep, there it is. Common radio transceiver produced by a generic manufacturer. There must be tens of thousands like it all over the world, each one indistinguishable from every other. I can speak. I speak all the time.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. It's empty like a beehive without its brood.
This is where the memory should go.
Oh, there's no transceiver
It's
in there?
empty like a...
This is where the memory should go.
Damn it! She said there was gonna be one in a radio computer, though. Shit, I really thought... Where else could we find a radio? Did we see any other radio in the game? There's radios in the trucks? In the lorries?
The afternoon sun shimmers off the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage.
Why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery.
I'm really not a car person.
This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Ferv series. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds.
Wow.
And go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
That's some big numbers. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Want it to roll over in the first sharp corner?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Canema effectively a mobile power plant.
I'm surprised Kim just leaves it here, like in the middle of the plaza, because I feel like people would come here and just like steal parts of it if it's worth so much money. This tech talk is really rubbing me the right way here. It's not. Turn your attention to the motor carriage itself.
Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice Canema looks sleek and dynamic. The cabin is tilted frontward to give it a more aggressive, hunched look. Someone has waxed it recently.
I'm sure. That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Point to the vehicle. Very cool. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. Looks impractical. Motor carriage. One of many. I'm sure if we compliment his car, he's gonna like it, right? So let's say something nice about the car just to get in Kim's good graces.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
The lieutenant smiles ever so slightly. It's the fact that you're a car person, Kim, is so funny. What's it packing there? Point to the engine.
130.
Wow, that's a big number.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
That's what, 7-liter V12? Let out a whistle. Mama's serving some serious macaroni. Oh, I thought it would make more. Ugh. That's so funny.
You lost me there.
He is looking at you perplexed. 130 kilowatts is a lot of power, Kim.
The Kinema is fast. Feels right at home on the raised motor track. Hard to find something that could overtake it.
Armel Ryu Supersonique, a racing motorbike for the road, could probably do it.
What in there made the infernal whining sound that woke me?
You mean the coil noise?
What is coil noise?
When variable current passes through wires that make up the coils on the electrical system on this machine, it causes vibration in the wires and the cores of the coils.
So what, is it like an electric car?
When the frequency of the current in the coils falls within the audible range, the resulting vibration creates the whiny sound you mentioned.
Whatever you do, don't make fun of the lieutenant for explaining this to you.
You are such a binoclard, Kim. Wow, how do you know all that?
I have pretty much maintained my vehicles by myself ever since one was assigned to me. You inevitably pick up some knowledge on the way.
There's pride in there. A trained driver knows his ride.
A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface. It's gonna be yeah, but please don't touch it.
Yes, an extraordinary machine.
There's gentleness in the lieutenant's voice as his eyes run over the vehicle's contours. It's so adorable how much you love your car, Kim.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. It's a bit girly right now. Fit it with some proper off-road components.
You need to slam it, Kim. Make it more imposing. With a winch and mud tires, we could take it off the beaten path, Kim. Okay, enough about details. Yeah?
We are not going to, though, because this is clearly a sports motor carriage.
Sounds like he has a strong concept of what this machine is. Alright, let's move. Whatever. Could we possibly take a radio from one of the lorries?
A lorry stuck in the trap. The windows, fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over.
This one doesn't have one. What about Ruby's car?
This found ate the smell of cigarette. There's something odd about the passenger seat.
Remove the radio transceiver.
It takes a few moments, but eventually the transceiver slides from its greased socket mount with an eminently satisfying ching.
I'm just stealing Ruby's stuff now.
Nearly the same sound produced by the action on a good breech loader. You can't fail to notice.
Alright.
As you take the transceiver in your hands, the lieutenant bites his lower lip, apparently deep in thought.
What do you think about this one, Kim?
Funny, isn't it?
What do you mean?
The lady driver used this same radio to evade coalition authorities, and now you are using it to contact them directly. It's just ironic, that's all.
I guess.
Where the radio used to be, there's just a rectangular shadow now.
Examine it.
It's about the size of a small box of pasta, but much heavier. Now that you're looking at it more closely, you realize the various dials and meters make it look vaguely like a face. A distinctive triangular logo forms the nose. That's the mark of Estaz Electronica, one of the major manufacturers of advanced radio equipment.
This has got to be better than your Dynawave.
An Esteras is certainly nothing to sniff at. But if you compare the feature sets, I would say they are more or less equivalent.
So you're not jealous? I shouldn't have got into this duel. I feel like I can't win against Kim. Fine. It appears we've reached a draw. That's okay, as long as it works. I guess we've reached a draw?
So it would appear.
Put the transceiver away?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. You close the rusty old lorry.
I guess that's as close as we can get to... I mean, what if there's a better one somewhere? There could be one in the pawn shop, right? The pawn shop, or maybe Sea-Lane could have one for sale. Also, I'm still holding my... Let me look at it. It does kind of look like a face. Highly advanced transceiver. Designed for maximum adaptability. In the case of this unit, the frequency dial has been replaced by a key. So I guess this one's better. Alright. Sea-Lane, do you have the low rumble of a bass beat? Your heart repeats it.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Oh, right, it's a speaker.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. These once respectable speakers have been conquered. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads,
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers.
I already looked at the sneakers.
Then look at them again. These are the premium lifestyle sneakers, officer.
They are pretty nice. +1 reaction speed, +1 hand-eye coordination. That's not bad. -1 encyclopedia. They cost 50 real though. Sea-Lane, can't you give me like a friendly discount on these? That's a lot of money. Alright, fine. I'll buy the sneakers.
Super cool! Now the premium lifestyle is yours, officer.
Do I also get the speakers?
The sneakers seem to vibrate in your hands with an almost mystical energy.
Okay, now let me buy the speakers.
The junk is yours, officer. Happy listening! Try not to hurt your ears with that Samaran garbage.
Oh, so it's garbage now, huh? Alright. New shoes. +1 reaction speed, limitless grip, +1 hand-eye coordination, steady ground, -1 encyclopedia. Too fast for facts. The Ultra Series Fallen sneakers put lightness and grip above all else. With grip tape covered springboard soles and ultralight synth fabric technology, you can exit every corner with the maximum traction of a gentleman's racer. Jeez. That looks terrible, but do like that bonus though. More hand-eye coordination, more reaction speed, the quickest to react, an untouchable man. And then what about those speakers? Why did you even buy those? There are no magic speakers. These are lame speakers. All they will ever produce is a faint memory of the song you're trying to listen to. Sell them for cash. Well, hey, that means I can make back some of my money. I could make 30 real, so in the end the shoes would only be 20 real. So that's pretty nice. I guess that's a discount of sorts. Let's sell those.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I'm looking for a radio transceiver. You got anything?
A transceiver, is it? Yeah, we should have something to do the trick.
He produces a machine encased in a blue Bakelite shell. Its black face covered in an assortment of pearl-topped knobs and dials. The lieutenant whistles a long, quivering note.
Damn it, that's gonna be the good one.
A genuine crystal sprack. This is a connoisseur's model. Good for picking up foreign milieus.
God damn. It's gonna be really expensive.
The Model 9 also comes equipped with a signal purifier to suppress crosstalk. Especially good around here with our funky reception.
In other words, it will put even the lieutenant's beloved Dynawave to shame.
Sounds perfect. Sounds a bit like overkill. Sounds expensive.
Well, it's not that Il Maran surplus junk, that's for sure. We think 120 real is more than reasonable.
120? Oh, if I hadn't bought all these other things, I would have the money for it, but that's really expensive though. All just for a pissing contest with Kim. God damn it. I mean, I don't have the money. I'm gonna shop around.
You'll be back again. I've got a feeling.
Suit yourself. Can promise this beauty will be here when you come back, though. He gently returns the transceiver to its shell behind the counter. Let me sell.
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Do you do anything with these postcards, or am I just supposed to sell them? Because they don't seem to have a use. I guess I could sell them. Postcard. 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 30 real for the speakers. Another postcard. Another postcard. So many of these postcards. Ah, man, I'm missing like 1 real to buy it. I don't want to spend 120 real for that, though. That's like all my money. I can't do that. We're just gonna have to, we're just gonna have to settle on a draw, alright? A draw's good enough for me. God damn it. I'll show you someday, Kim Kitsuragi. Someday you'll see.
Yes, what is it?
Found a radio transceiver.
Ah, very good. Let's see what you have.
Someone who is using this to coordinate a drug smuggling operation used the highly advanced transceiver. Found this in an office by the harbor. Used a perfectly adequate transceiver. I feel like there's a trap here. Should you go for the like highly advanced one or the perfectly adequate transceiver? I feel like this is totally the kind of game that would punish you for going with like the best one instead of the perfectly adequate one. But alright, we'll use the highly advanced one, I guess.
Interesting. An Esterhaus EH4, heavily customized. This is an advanced model, highly capable. I'll need to replace the frequency dial, but it should certainly work for our purposes.
I'll use this one since, like Kim said, it's ironic.
She's impressed by your resourcefulness as much as by the equipment itself.
I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. There won't be any second chances, any do-overs. You understand?
Yep.
So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now.
I mean, how long are we talking about here? Didn't you say we need some kind of power supply?
Ah, yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned power source down by the edge of the bay.
You mean the motor carriage that I crashed into the bay?
Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery. Then you already know that the carriage itself is irreparable. But the rear-mounted engine seems to be in fine working order.
Okay, well, I'm glad it's gonna have some kind of use.
My intention is to run a power cable from the engine up to the antenna. It won't last forever, but it should give us enough time to establish a connection with Coalition warship Archer.
What kind of stuff should I get in order?
That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense and difficult process. Once we begin, there can be no interruptions.
Okay.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
So like these then? I mean, that's my best interfacing gloves.
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common ammonia works just fine.
Oh, but I don't have ammonia anymore. Should I go buy some?
Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep illegal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist.
I try to avoid drugs now. Abusing stimulants is highly irresponsible.
I don't take them because they make me nauseous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge.
Let me... hang on.
That's fine. Return to me when you're ready to go.
I mean, let me take another look at what I'm wearing. I guess I want, like, what, interfacing? I don't even know what I'm really calling them about. This is a very long quest line, so it has to lead to something, but I don't really know what I'm gonna say to them. I guess I'm going for, like, interfacing, maybe some, like, authority, suggestion, drama. Maybe I'm gonna lie to them. I guess I'm going with this outfit.
Yes, what is it?
Here goes nothing. I'm ready now. Let's contact Archer.
Very good. If you'll help me with some of this equipment then.
Back across the water lock. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
That's every day with me, Kim. You should know this by now.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer. And if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
I'm surprised Kim is, like, actually willing to do this with me. Like, he's not scared we're gonna get in trouble with the Coalition. So using my engine and then running a cable all the way to the statue, that's like a really long way. It's like one of the most elaborate cutscenes so far. So like this quest has to lead to something good, right? It was such a long process to do like all these things. There's a little carpet there. That's such a long cable, damn. I wonder what the people that are gonna think about this. Oh, she climbed in it. Damn.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
I hope she's not gonna get like shocked.
It's done. I believe we are ready.
Lieutenant wipes his brow.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice.
Oh good, so you guys get to listen to me embarrassing myself.
You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready?
Wait, what if they never acknowledge me?
Then it will be exactly like every other moment of every other day.
I guess so.
I ask again. Are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Beginning transmission.
A soft rustling. The snow seems to have gotten between your ears somehow.
Ignore it.
Go ahead, officer.
What should I say?
We don't have time for indecision. Just say whatever first comes to mind.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is RCM Officer Tequila Sunset, please acknowledge. Let's go with our real name. This is Lieutenant Harrier Dubois of the RCM, please acknowledge.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines.
These roles are either going to be very important or very difficult, because this is the first time the game has actually kind of like warned us about like, oh, wear some good gloves and like, are you sure you're ready for this? So...
The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. He is nervous for your sake, of course, but also his own.
Yeah. Ooh, just barely hit that.
Looking at him now, with both hands on his headphones, you see very briefly what the lieutenant must have been like when he first joined the RCM. Then he turns to you. He gives you a half smile, along with an almost imperceptible nod of encouragement.
Very nice.
Try again, officer.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois, please acknowledge.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Wie kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Bredefort schicken?
Hello Archer, do you acknowledge?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr, seit auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
I don't speak German, but wait, didn't we meet a Marianne already? Wasn't the real estate agent called Marianne earlier? Okay, so I speak English, I speak French, I do not speak German. Grad, something about grad, psychology, psychologist?
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
What does this remind me of?
The rustling of dry autumn leaves, waves breaking at a distance, 1,000 wings beating at once.
Keep listening.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
I don't think they're talking to me. I think I'm just like catching a conversation between other people.
Keep trying, officer. We'll get a signal through eventually.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. If you're there, Archer, please acknowledge.
Again?
Again?
It's cold now.
A slight frisson at the point where your neck meets your spine. Something about the lieutenant's words directed at you, but not you.
Wait, why did he sound like on the radio? Kim, don't clog my connection. It's really coming down now that you mention it.
Mention what?
It's cold, like you just said.
I didn't say anything, Detective.
Okay.
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Then who the fuck am I hearing?
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
Did you not hear that, Kim?
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
Are you going to tell me you didn't say that either?
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
The lieutenant seems to wince at the sound of his own voice. What is happening?
I can't say with certainty, but it sounds very much like anthroponetic crosstalk. It happens sometimes when sending transmissions across long stretches of pale.
So what, we're hearing Kim at another point in time? Is that what's happening? Like these are words he said before?
Ah, yes, of course. That must be it.
Outwardly, they both exude calm, but there's something disturbing about this thought to both of them.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
So what can we do about it?
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
Coalition Warship Archer, do you acknowledge this is Lieutenant Dubois?
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Oh, I think this is what he said about the radio receiver earlier, right?
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois, can you hear me?
Liebling, bitte. Ist unser einziges Kind.
Warship Archer, please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
That was an 18 roll, Jesus.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong.
What can we do?
I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult.
She appears to be concentrating very intently.
We must consider several variables. Local anthroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Fortunately, we have a more than adequate transceiver, so I do not believe it is causing any problems.
Okay.
And we're also unlikely to change our local anthroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections.
And how am I supposed to do that?
You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
Oh, it's gonna be just like the scene from the loading screen where Harry is climbing in the statue. I was wondering if that was ever going to happen at some point in the game. She stares at you as though it were obvious. Her hand gestures to the colorful cables dangling from the horse's forehooves. Oh, maybe I should have put more physical instrument in. Because right now it's very low. It's only at 2. Uh-oh.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it.
I need more points in physical instruments for sure.
Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
But what if I slip and fall?
Then you might break your neck.
She replies matter-of-factly, alright, let's do this. I really did not put any points in, like, physical stuff for this. I really thought it was more like just about convincing them of something. Oh boy. I don't think 3 physical instruments gonna work too well for me.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar.
Really?
You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
Surprising. Was this a roll? Just put my ass right in Philip's face. Take that, you bum. Oh god, don't slip and fall, Harry.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment.
Was it? I mean, I got up there, didn't I? Examine the connections?
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter, it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years.
Well, do you see anything?
The whole statue's covered in weird oils. I don't think it's good for the connections.
Damn, I was afraid of that. And I didn't bring any solvents with me. How foolish. Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen.
What would changing the shape of the antenna do?
Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the warship signal and eliminate the crosstalk. But if you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse.
And, how do we change the shape?
What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hands. I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
How?
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Oh, Oh, that's so low. Look at Philip III.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted.
Look at the horse.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
Look up.
The sky is grey and overcast. Snow spirals all around you. Through the scrim, you can just make out the shadow of Coalition warship Archer a few kilometers to the east.
Probably shouldn't look down. I feel like that's gonna give me a negative.
A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging.
Oh, that's gonna be distracting.
She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Probably pig. Oh man, that's not gonna work. That's so obviously not going to work. I know I've succeeded a lot of low rolls before, but I think I don't have a lot of hope for this. I think my luck might have finally run out. Alright, let's try it. I'm about to slip and fucking die. Oh Lord. Sorry. Well, at least I didn't fall.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling! What are you doing? The connection is even worse now. This is extremely unprofessional.
I'm sorry, I was trying to do good.
But you didn't. You made things worse.
She's right. This was your responsibility.
It was my responsibility.
Damn it. I'm going to push the power supply. I doubt it will last more than a few minutes, so you'd better make them count.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting. Mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist.
Lieutenant Dubois, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then, nothing.
Try it now.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Harriet Dubois of the RCM. Please acknowledge.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is the best we can do. I suggest you get to your business quickly. I doubt I'll be able to maintain even this connection very long.
This is so dangerous. Like, you could so easily just slip and fall and fucking die.
This is it. You're finally getting to speak with those who hold real power. And by that they mean the ones with the guns and the warships.
And I don't even know what I'm calling them about.
There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
Who am I speaking with? What does Revachol look like from up there? What does the moral intern really want? When is real democracy coming to Revachol? Listen, I really need to reach the Committee of Responsibility. I mean, I kind of want to ask at least who I'm speaking with.
You are currently speaking with Coalition Warship Archer, flagship of Insurcom forces in Revachol.
Are you the captain? The Coalition has talking airships? Sure, but who are you? I need to know your name.
Our name is not important. All you need to know is that we hold the position of second signaler aboard the Archer.
You really don't have the faintest guess what her name could be. You were never very good at this sort of thing. There's something in the way she refers to herself, always with the first person plural. A deliberate blurring of the boundary between herself and the institution she represents.
I mean, it's very common if you're like a phone operator or something.
Not to mention the airborne artillery platform she works on. Her every word is backed up by the most powerful ordnance available.
Just one thing, why do you keep referring to yourself with the plural? What's it like being a second signaler? Just wasting your time. Yeah, just one thing.
Because it's standard practice for signalers to use the pluralis officialis during the course of our duties. It's meant to serve as a reminder that we don't speak only for ourselves.
Look at this picture there, it's so interesting.
For instance, as second signaler, we represent Coalition Worship-Archer, which in turn represents Insurcom and the Coalition more generally, which in turn represents the Moralist International, which itself represents the interests of 1.2 billion people across the world.
Meaning, she's the voice of all those living souls.
So when I'm talking to you, it's like I'm talking to all of humanity? Sounds like kind of a hard job. That sounds like an awesome responsibility. Sounds like a hard job.
It may be a demanding job, but the Coalition is committed to ensuring those in its service maintain a healthy work-life balance.
Well, that's nice. I love that we're having this very casual conversation with this very limited time we have.
Now, your request?
I'm not joking, officer. I'll only be able to hold the signal open for a few more moments. What you came here to ask it now.
Is everything alright?
I mean, I want to ask when is real democracy coming to Revachol, but I'm scared that like I'm not gonna have time to actually proceed with the main thing. I really need to reach the Committee of Responsibility.
Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the Liaison for Public Affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
She seems very satisfied by this answer. What if I need to reach the committee a bit sooner? Actually, I was hoping you could patch me through to the committee directly. Oh, wow, an empathy roll. Convince her you need to address the committee. +2 clean and sober. +2 discovered a strange anomaly. +1 not boring, normal. Okay, for once that's a positive. -1 history of prank calls. Oh no. -1 won't let the past go. That's 72% though, that's pretty good, right? Come on, give it to me.
This isn't about you. Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachol.
Are we like... Because assigning la responsabilité, that was just like a random thought that I got from just walking around, right? I figured just because my moral intern like score was kind of high, but now it's turning into something much bigger than I expected. Like, is it... Am I calling them about the whole? Is that what it is?
Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Oh, or is it just about like the fucking civil war that's about to happen between the Union and the mercenaries? Listen to me. The situation in Martinez is a powder keg. If the coalition doesn't... I mean, we shouldn't... Oh, I don't know if the coalition should intervene though, because the last time they did that, it didn't turn out too well, did it? But this is my only option. I'm like locked into this path now. Like, what if they just bomb us again? The situation in Martinez is a powder keg. If the coalition doesn't intervene, many people will die.
What? How do you know this?
I've uncovered things in the course of my investigation that lead me to believe we're headed to a violent confrontation between the Union and Wild Pines. Yeah, that's true. Can they really do something about that, though? I feel like they're just gonna make it more violent. Things are really bad down here, like really bad. Damn it, there's no time to explain. You better write this down. Yeah?
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible. We will forward your summary to the committee.
I don't have time, though.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes.
It's gonna get cut off before we can tell her, isn't it?
There. You've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you can show the coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene.
The Wild Pines has recently lost control of a paramilitary death squad called Crenel. For one, the Wild Pines has been completely shut out of the strike negotiations. I haven't worked out the details yet, but there's something weird going on with the Wild Pines. I mean, yeah, it's Crenel.
Please continue. We're listening.
I have also uncovered evidence the Union may also be orchestrating a takeover of a local fishing village. And, well, the union's demands for worker control of corporate boards seem completely unworkable. That's true.
Was there anything else the committee should know?
If she's writing, you can't hear anything. I'm losing her.
Detective, before you answer that, I urge you to weigh your words extremely carefully.
You're not only speaking for yourself. He means to tell you, you're speaking for all of the RCM. What you say now will reflect on all of your half-brothers and sisters.
That's a lot of responsibility.
The lieutenant is afraid you're going to say something too outre.
Now that you mention it, I learned something very strange about the victim in my murder investigation. I've discovered an anthroponetic phenomenon here in Martinez. Yeah, that's true. That could be a little dangerous.
We're afraid we must ask you to repeat that, Lieutenant Dubois.
Afraid? What is she afraid of? Her tone has shifted. She's no longer herself. She's reading from a script. Your words have activated some sort of procedure.
That's a little worrying. I said I've discovered an anthroponetic phenomenon here in Martinez.
Acknowledged. Listen very carefully, Lieutenant. We're going to ask you a series of questions. It is imperative that you answer as directly and truthfully as you can. Do you understand?
I feel like we're gonna run out of time, yes?
Good. First question. Are you currently in the vicinity of Seregli, the North Arcade Islands, or near Pale Offshore Platform in Sulindico?
Seregli, the North Arcade Islands, or near Pale Offshore Platform? I don't think so. No, I'm in Martinez.
Very good. Next question. Would you describe the phenomenon as internal to the Isola or external to the Isola?
What she means is, actually, you have no idea what those words could mean in this context.
I mean, it's in the... If you mean if it's offshore or happening on the Isola, it's here. So internal, I guess.
Next question. At the time, did you experience sense objects?
Can you elaborate?
Yes. Examples may include sound, memory, light.
When the raver put the compressor through the other thing, it made the beat really hardcore, like too hardcore. I experienced nothing, a complete lack of phenomena. I mean, it was more of a gradient, right? Like the sound kind of slowly went away. It wasn't like it completely shut off everything. I guess it was a kind of gradient?
Let's go on. Final question. Were you alone?
Yes, unquestionably, irrevocably alone.
Inland Empire. Hunches and gut feelings. You're saying I should say I was alone?
You are part of a large family. You are never alone. There's no need to overthink this.
We repeat. Were you alone?
I feel like maybe they're going to fucking like kidnap me and wipe off my memory or like kill me for knowing about this. Maybe I'm digging into things I shouldn't and like they're going to like just kill me because I know too much. And if I say I was alone, I'm the only one that's going to suffer. But if I say I wasn't alone, they're gonna like take everyone away. My gut feeling, which was a challenging role, is saying yes, I was alone. Or should I just be honest? No?
You hear the sound of a page ripping.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Please stand by while we transmit our summary.
A long winter.
I'm not sure how much longer I can keep the signal clear, officer.
You have to, Soona, just a little longer.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Collision Warship Archer. Please acknowledge.
Archer, I can't hold on much longer.
Thank you for standing by. We are authorized to report the Committee of Responsibility for Ravachol has acknowledged and accepted your request.
Wow, that was very quick.
They would like you to address your matter to the committee directly, as their earliest convenience.
Really? When is that? I'm kind of in the middle of a murder investigation.
Local matters can wait. Collision Shuttle Laurel is setting a course for your position. They will arrive momentarily. Stand by.
Really?
Fat raindrops explode all around you. You wait, exposed to the meteorological bombardment. At least you're wearing a hat.
Why does this almost feel like aliens are about to come and pick you? Because they sound so far away, so far removed from the situation here in Martinez. You know, it's like the coalition. Ooh. Like they're only people, but they feel so far away and like so like separate from the people here.
So, they're really coming.
The lieutenant adjusts his microphone and slowly looks up toward you.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, what now?
I guess we wait.
Yes, and then?
What do you mean?
You've accomplished your side task. You've contacted Coalition Warship Archer. I suppose what I'm asking is whether we are about to lose you to the moral intern.
I don't know.
Beneath that surface query, a touch of self-doubt. The lieutenant isn't sure he can solve the murder without you.
Kim, have you ever considered that maybe our case isn't that important? Kim, I'm tired of feeling I don't have any normal, reasonable options. But I'm afraid, Kim. I am afraid.
Afraid of what, detective?
A little rhyme jingling in your mind's attic. Of the future, of the past, of all that is not made to last.
I feel that something very bad is going to happen. It's my past, it's going to catch up with me. Kim, what if this is all there is? What do you mean all there is? Why are you so cryptic? I mean, I do feel like something bad's going to happen.
The lieutenant takes a moment to compose his thoughts.
I don't know where this case will lead us, detective. But in a sense, that doesn't matter. Our job is to follow the evidence where it leads. Consequences be damned.
Yeah?
Because that's what it means to be an officer of the RCM.
Sure?
The lieutenant's final words are nearly swallowed by the roar of the aerostatic's main rotors.
Oh shit, they're actually here.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Coalition Warship Archer. We have been instructed to inform you that the Laurel arrived at your position. Please acknowledge.
No shit. How are they supposed to hear your acknowledgement over the thundering of their own rotors?
God, the shadow of the ship. Acknowledge, Archer. This is Lieutenant Dubois.
Thank you. The Committee of Responsibility for Rebel has authorized us to offer you an immediate extraction. Do you accept?
Oh, Jesus. Wait, is this going to, like, lock me into, like, a different ending? Like, because I'm close to the end, right? What if I do this and then, like, I'm locked into a different ending? Because the way Kim was talking, it's almost like I'm about to just disappear. Forever. I have a few questions first.
We are far past that point, Lieutenant. There is only one question now. Are you ready, or are you not?
Back out. Look around one last time. Last time? Are they gonna kill me? What is going on?
The roundabout, Martinez North, daytime. Across the plaza, a pair of seagulls fight over the remains of a chicken wing. The programmer eyes you curiously. She does not understand why you're hesitating. Whatever her misgivings about the coalition, the fact is that you've summoned an aerostatic with your voice, an achievement she never thought she'd witness. The lieutenant looks up toward you. He starts to open his mouth, then appears to think better of it. He's spoken his piece, he thinks. It's up to you now.
Well, what do you want, Kim? Do you want me to stay here or do you want me to leave?
There is something, a whisper, circulating among the city's footnoted alleyways and along its electrical wires. But what it's saying, you can't tell. It seems to be a message meant for someone else.
I accept. Get me out of here?
Acknowledged. Laurel has initiated the extraction procedure. Stand by.
Are you going to beam me up like a fucking UFO?
Marianne hat mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit auf einem Luftschiff
Committee of
Weeks later, no answers about extracted cop. The condition and whereabouts of an RCM officer extracted by a coalition aerostatic 2 weeks ago remain unknown. The dramatic maneuver witnessed by dozens near the North Roundabout has reportedly increased tensions between the citizens of Martinez, the RCM, and coalition authorities. Early reports that the lieutenant was investigating entropinetic phenomena along the coast have not been confirmed. According to an official statement given by the RCM, the lieutenant was in Martinez as part of a murder investigation. A coalition representative declined repeated requests for comment.
The condition and whereabouts remain unknown. What happened to me? What the fuck? Was that like a secret ending? What happens then? Should I have just not done this whole thing? I honestly don't really know how to feel. I don't really understand what happened. Does it always lead to this? Like, no matter what happens, if you go on the ship, is like the game ends?
One eternity later.
Alright, sorry about that. I had to take a break to go and make dinner and also eat dinner and reflect on what the hell just happened. I don't really know what to think. I guess the idea is Harry... What, did they kill him? Is that the implication? Because like he disappeared and then they never saw him again. It's like, did they kill him? Or like, did he join the moral interns and then like he just never came back to finish the investigation? That's kind of like a bad ending. It's funny because it is technically an ending, so I could just end the playthrough here and be like, well, that's the ending we got, so that's the finale. But obviously we're not going to end it here. I am curious to like try and do it again.
Yes, what is it?
And I guess not go on the airship so we can at least have the events happening, but then like can we get something out of it? Is there like a different outcome? I don't know. Let's try it again.
Very good.
So let's try it again. See if something else can happen. I guess this time we won't agree to get on the airship. I really didn't know what to expect. I thought there was going to be more, you know, I thought we would have a scene where we're on the airship and then we're talking to these people and like we have to explain the pale phenomenon in the church and then like something more happened, but that's not the case. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly so we can get to some new stuff.
What is your request?
Let's ask, when is real democracy coming to Revachol?
We can assure you, it is coming as soon as possible.
In a few months then?
That's rather optimistic. Though of course, it depends on the contingencies.
What do you mean contingencies?
You must understand, the moral intern is responsible for ensuring the continuance and flourishing of mankind for the next 3,000 years.
Why specifically?
The planning division must account for a great many possible outcomes and chance events.
Why specifically 3,000 years?
Fortunately, we have contingency spreads to help guide our decision-making. Of course, there is no one spread that can reasonably account for all these possible events. But at least, we're able to prepare for the most likely eventualities.
How do these contingency spreads actually work?
It's not really our area of expertise, but we can try to explain it. Picture a smooth hill made from fresh dirt. Now, if you stand atop this hill and pour a glass of water over it, what will happen?
The dirt will get wet? I won't have any water? The water will run down the hill?
Precisamente. We know only that it will run down, but not what course it will take. If we place a rock in the water's path, will it divert to the left or to the right? We cannot say, but we may predict which way it might run in either event.
So this is Jurassic Park, Ian Malcolm chaos theory.
That is the essence of the idea.
That's chaos theory.
You might also imagine the spreads as a kind of tree, with every juncture representing a different event, and every branch representing a different timeline.
So where does Revachol fit into these contingencies?
That's impossible to say. It may be that Revachol has a great role to play, or no role at all. That is the nature of contingencies.
But didn't the Wild Pines representative say that Revachol would resolve history?
You must understand, when we speak of contingency spreads, we are talking about the most fantastically complex data visualization human beings are capable of producing, with thousands of events, from elections and wars to natural disaster or scientific miracles, and millions of possible outcomes.
It makes your brain swell just to think about it.
Wow, that was easy and I failed? Jesus.
It may be the case that, under certain scenarios, Revachol is vitally important, as it was during the collision landings in 08. It may also be the case, in many other equally plausible scenarios, that Revachol is simply another once great city, like countless others throughout history.
Revachol was founded to resolve history as the most important city in the world. Yeah, this is definitely a place whose time has passed. Why does thinking about these contingencies make me feel so bad? These are all things I say to her. She's gonna think I'm really weird if I say that. This is also kind of weird. What is the most important city in the world at this point in time? I'm just gonna say it.
Perhaps not. The world is full of great cities that have resolved the questions of their time. La Cherte, Bradford, our own home of Advesperacit.
Advesperacit?
It's even possible the cities that will resolve the questions of the future have not been founded yet. For this reason, responsibility for developing contingency spreads is only assigned to highly trained analysts working with advanced radio computers and a steady supply of drone.
Okay, but I still want to know when real democracy is coming.
Of course. While the content of individual contingency spreads is deeply classified, many degrees beyond our access, everything we have heard from the Provisional Commission indicates that the transition is proceeding according to the appropriate timetable.
But what if some people want democracy to come faster?
Of course, the coalition supports the Revacholian people's desire for full democracy. We encourage you to contact the offices of the Provisional Commission if you're serious about getting involved.
How can I get involved?
Oh, there are many things you can do. If you're interested in learning how to canvass for signatures, manage the polling place, or register voters, the Commission would be more than happy to direct you to a workshop. In fact, you may have picked the perfect time to get involved. Revachol is nearly ready to begin the first phase of democratization.
Really?
Soon, the people at Revachol will vote for slates of candidates who will make up the Transitional Advisory Council that will oversee the second phase of democratization.
What's this Transitional Advisory Council?
The council is modeled after similar bodies developed in a number of transitional democracies. Its role is to devise and shape the future institutions of Revacholian democracy, according to local conditions.
Local conditions, in this case, referring to incompetence, graft, and violence.
I love how I'm supposed to be very short on time, but like we're having this very long conversation about democracy.
Once elected, council members will even have the opportunity to join one of several officially sanctioned political wings, depending on their ideological beliefs and policy preferences.
What do these wings represent?
A very important question. The wings are carefully selected to represent a wide spectrum of political thought. Typically, there's a liberal technocratic wing, a social democratic wing, and even a conservative populist wing. You wouldn't believe some of the ideas they express, but a vibrant and free political culture requires that all perspectives be given voice, even those many may find objectionable.
Sure, yeah. The fact that you say even a conservative populist wing kind of says what you think about it, really, but who picks the slates of candidates?
In most cases, the Provisional Council selects them from a cross-section of the local population to ensure the slates actually reflect the people they represent.
Yeah.
Of course, such a situation is not ideal. We would all prefer for Revacholians to nominate the representatives directly. But that is why it's a transitional council.
Sounds reasonable, I guess. Sounds kind of like a burgeoning new democracy is gonna happen soon. How many of these phases are there until we have real democracy?
Our best theoreticians believe that 3 to 5 phases are appropriate for states that lack strong democratic traditions, which would certainly apply to Revachol.
True, yeah. We've only had kings and revolutions.
But we must stress that real democracy is an ongoing process and not simply an outcome. It must be cultivated and preserved if it is to endure.
Sure, yes, I believe that.
I'm not joking, officer. I'll only be able to hold the signal open for a few more moments.
Is everything alright?
Alright, well, need to reach the committee.
Acknowledged. To reach the committee, if the liaison accepts your...
She's got to be jerking your chain, right? You can't wait that long.
Ooh, it's at 97 now.
There is only one question now. Are you ready, or are you not?
No, I'm not. I can't do it.
Repeat that, Lieutenant. What do you mean, you can't? Are you being impeded in some way?
It's my case. I've got to see it through. It's Kim, my partner. I can't abandon him. There's still some personal business I have to sort out. It's Kim. I can't abandon him.
We have to say, this is extremely disappointing to hear, Lieutenant. What the consequences will be for your refusal to accept responsibility, we cannot say. For your sake, we pray they are not more than we all can bear.
I mean, I've given you the information about the phenomenon. Now you guys investigate it. Do some fucking work.
And now, we are updating our frequencies. We will not speak again. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3...
Sorry, Archer.
2, 1... Après le monde, le gris.
And the line goes quiet. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. There's relief on his face as he turns toward you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
Yeah, you're right.
Good. Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
Okay, well, if one thing came out of this, like I climbed the top of this tower, I had a conversation with the moral interns in their big airship. I was offered to be extracted, maybe to join them, maybe they were gonna kill me. I was going to disappear, leave the case, but instead I refused. For my partner, Kim, and then I'm gonna climb down the statue and tell them, guys, I'm gay.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Well, this was an interesting collaboration.
We make a pretty good team, Soona.
Perhaps. You're more reliable than the writers I used to work with. Though, that is not a difficult part to clear. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares.
Okay.
Now you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my own work.
So... okay, I guess we're gonna get a headset.
Homosexual underground.
Go ahead.
Maybe you should stop obsessing about your own and other people's sexuality. Feels like it's about time to do that. You thought about this for 8 hours? Not only should you stop, you should tell Kim you've stopped obsessing about other people's sexuality too. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Unless you already got him killed because you were obsessing about your sexuality. There's no way of telling from within your brain. But for your own sake, please say you didn't.
Is it possible that this would have happened? I think you're just messing with me, right? Oh. So no bonuses? Okay. Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. I guess I'm more satisfied with this outcome where we just refuse them. Specialist grade headset. +2 Inland Empire in your own head. -1 reaction speed. Say that again? A giant pair of cans to keep you safe from the world. This particular set seems to have changed hands several times. It may become sweaty after extended use. My headset doesn't become sweaty. Alright, well. This certainly happened. Well, can I talk to you about this? Right here in front of Andre. I have big news, Kim. Tell Kim about how you no longer obsess over your sexuality.
Okay.
I have managed to stop obsessing about my sexuality.
Great. Imagine all the time you'll have for work now. Matter of fact, we should get back to it right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just one thing, though.
What?
Are you part of the homosexual underground?
You didn't stop at all, did you? You are just obsessing about other people's sexuality now.
Yeah, but...
But am I? I'll spare you another 20-hour mine project. Yes, I am. Now let's get back to work.
Alright. Well, that's confirmed then, I guess. I guess that's good to know. That certainly matches a lot of the fan art I've been seeing of this game, I'll say. Oh boy, so what now? We have the meeting at 10. Check island for bullet traces and check the boardwalk. Where is the boardwalk exactly? Like a lot of these, like the smokes I'm not gonna do. This one is bugged so I can't do it. This one doesn't really work either. It's just the ruby thing now. And then the thing at 10 tonight. And then this thing, looking for bullet traces. Should we go to the island? I could go and talk to the smoker on the balcony about this revelation I've got. Hey, man.
Hi again, Gendarme.
Oh, you can't even talk to him about it. Oh, never mind. Yo, did anyone see how like this giant warship came down to get me and then left? Did you see that, Timmy?
Now it's turning into a kind of a... What's on your mind?
Alright, they're not even going to comment the fact that a giant airship came down to get me. What a shame. Alright, so what's the boardwalk? Where is the boardwalk exactly? You can imagine why calls become terrible sometimes. What do you mean? Isn't this here the boardwalk? And I'm looking for what, bullets? Certainly looks like a boardwalk to me. I mean, I guess we have time for... I mean, I could either like read those books and check out the game, or we could just sit on a bench and wait until 10. Or we could go check the failed mural, but I feel like the failed mural is going to move the game forward. But maybe we should do it. Oh, you're still here. So this should tell me something about Ruby, right? Let's see.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld Electrical, R&D. Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Shivers 97. Can I see the whole thing, please? Can I see the whole thing, please? +3 found the empty trap. +3 heard Lena's true story. +1 reconstructed execution. +2 made that awful call. +2 established the nightclub. +2 discovered the anomaly. +3 death notification. What? +1 found the jacket. That's a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things that seem very unrelated to Ruby. Listen to the wind.
A breeze, like a quiet sigh, moves over you. The cool air breaks across your body. It brings the salt of the sea into your lungs.
Are you fucking serious right now? You've seen me succeed 3% rolls, you've seen me succeed 17% rolls, but what about failing a 97% roll? Only here, baby. Only on this channel.
Go to the children of the big sea.
What the hell was that?
The wind rushes away, leaving you where you were, on the rotting boards of the Feld building.
Officer, are you okay? It looked like we lost you for a second.
Really? I think I need to talk to some kids in the village. Work with the children of the big sea? What? The wind told me to talk to children. Let's roll. I think I need to talk to some kids in the village.
When you're ready.
It's fucking locked now. I can't believe I rolled a double 1. Fucking critical failure. And by the way, if you're counting, that's 1 out of 36 chances. Jesus fucking Christ. In a way, I almost feel lucky, you know? When you succeed a 3% roll, you're like, wow, I'm so lucky. And then when you fail a 97% roll, you're like, again, I'm just so lucky. Because it's the rarest possible outcome. Incredible. Do I have a skill point I can put in Shivers? I do have 1 skill point. Shall we just put a point in it? Let's do it. I can't possibly fail it twice, right?
The once bright mural towers above you.
Don't you do this to me twice.
Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
Where does it go?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
I just noticed there's a ladder there. Are we supposed to climb that? The collapsed roof, yeah, I didn't notice there was like a door on the roof. Down a concrete staircase to the basement. Is that where Ruby is? What is happening?
She's down there.
I think she's down there below this building.
Okay. Why?
The wind told me. We've looked everywhere else. Ever since I woke up, maybe even before, I've been getting these strange cold spells.
Good, good, yes. Cold spells. So basically your hangover is telling you she's down there?
Yes, I can literally talk to my hangover. That's how bad it has gotten. Let's not say that. The wind told me. It's gonna find that weird too. Call it a gut feeling. I think as a fellow policeman, he might respect that.
So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
There is, yeah, a ladder. There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb it, enter through the roof?
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
Oh. I can also interact. Jesus Christ. Jump scared by the fucking skill point thing. What's this? The faded remains of a poster with the date 46. A name is faintly legible. Arnvik. Yes. Alright, so the wind. What was the name of the voice that spoke to me when I was dancing? La Revachelière? The world spirit told me that Ruby is down there. I mean, it makes sense, right? We've been everywhere else. But that also means I can't go there right now, because that's gonna be endgame, right? Let's look at the traps first.
A few locusts trudge up, poor things.
Oh, the rest are piled in a heap in the corner, dead. That sucks. All these locusts died because of me. I'm sorry, locusts. Alright. Has it been long enough where we can go check the other trap? So what's with this thing?
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the fell building?
Come closer and look in.
Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
What's in there?
An ordinary drainage pipe. Darkness.
What else?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side.
And?
And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Could we get into the building through this pipe?
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either.
A grin flickers across his face.
However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around.
The lieutenant pushes aside the reeds and looks around.
The lieutenant's face lights up. He doesn't usually notice these little things.
And it's right here, a maintenance door.
He points to a rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe obscured by the reeds. Try to pull the door apart. +1 broke into Kuno's apartment. +1 broke into communist apartment. No. Yeah, we'll come back to this later, because I'm really scared it's going to trigger the endgame, and I still have some stuff left to do, like checking the traps again. I'm getting a shiver of my own, and it's telling me that I'm very close to the end of the game, so... I really thought I was going to find Clausier's passport somewhere. I mean, she said she hid it, but... I thought maybe we could spot it. With our exceptional perception, you know? Alright, let's see.
Just dead and dying locusts, and the slow swaying of surrounding reeds. Poor things.
Wait, which trap? Wasn't this the trap that we refilled? That hypnotic song gets stuck in my head even more now. That they've added like the other sounds to it. I'm like do-do, 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 do-do. Alright, so if it's not that trap, then it's the other trap down here.
The trap is filled with dead and dying locusts. Most of them aren't moving anymore. You still can't see a phasmid anywhere. Poor things.
Wait, so I've checked all of them. Does it really lead to nothing? I've checked every trap. Well, if Shivers says that Ruby is in the failed building, that means she's not on the island, so should we just go to the island then? If the boat is available now? That would pass some time. I honestly just assumed she was gonna be on the island, but I guess not. We've checked every trap now, right? Has it just not been long enough, or is there just really nothing in any of the traps? I mean, the task for the phasmids is over, but I don't know, I feel like there has to be something more to this, right? Like we told Lena we were going to look one more time, so like there has to be at least some acknowledgement from the game that there's more to this. Maybe it just hasn't been long enough?
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching.
That's
Still,
sad.
no phasmid. Poor things.
Well, that's all of them.
The trap is poor.
That sucks. So it doesn't do anything to check the traps again. What a bummer. Can we use the boat?
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it.
Wait, wasn't she the one I was supposed to ask about the boat? Who do I ask about the boat? Joyce?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Who? I remember being able to ask someone about a boat. I feel like it was her. Maybe it's the washerwoman?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night.
How do I get to the island? Who told me about a freaking boat? I mean, I don't want to check my... Wasn't there a boat here? Or am I just misremembering this? Or this boat? Who told me about a boat? How do I get to the island otherwise? I'm pretty sure it was her.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it.
I might as well just tell her it's my car there.
Oh. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea?
It is a sign of the carnage to come, the great culling. I wasn't feeling it. It was an accident, I'm sorry. I got drunk and apparently drove it in the sea. An official investigation has been launched by me to determine just that, ma'am. I don't know. I got drunk and apparently drove it in the sea.
This calls for a funeral, if you ask me.
You are suggesting we honor the carcass of my former motor carriage? No, that's senseless sentimentality. Inanimate objects don't have souls. I'm actually in the middle of a murder investigation right now. You want to honor it?
Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think?
Yeah.
Falling in the line of duty like that and all?
I don't think they have funerals for motor carriages. What an odd thought. Maybe I should. don't want a funeral. I hate death. What an odd thought.
Why odd? Our things are part of our life world. They're made with our human sweat and they share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans. To some extent, at least.
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotwaldian philosophers. Play it cool now.
Play it cool. All right, I'm in, but organizing a funeral takes a lot of time and effort, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. And where are you going to bury it? Who to invite? What music to play at the wake?
Oh, jeez. I was just gonna, like, go next to it and maybe say a few words and then leave.
Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals. It's easiest to just leave them there and let nature take care of it.
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere.
The lieutenant looks at you sympathetically. It's a pity we don't get to do more frivolous side activities like rejuvenate the doomed commercial area, or let's focus on the things we can actually do, alright? Yeah. No, it's too bad.
Yes, that is a pity. But for now, let's focus on the things we do get to do. Like the murder investigation, for example.
The lieutenant looks at you almost gently. He's so patient.
You like the Capri funeral idea?
Oh, of course you would like that, because it's about a car. I thought you cared about me, Kim, but you only care about my car. Alright, well, I'm just waiting until it's 10. All I can do is just, let's read some books. I didn't open this one because it was wrapped.
Large letters on the front form a title. Wirral.
Right, this is where we'd stop. So let's read about the Dwogr.
A grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, and muscular, and enjoy digging for gold and other precious minerals.
Dwarves.
They're also well versed in the art of combat, where they prefer to use axes and hammers. The Tweog also come in a few different sub-races. Hill Tweog, Shield Tweog, and Dark Tweog.
Read about the humans.
They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats, and jacks of all trades.
Read about the fairy folk.
A very small race of flying people, known for being mischievous, full of trickery. They often lure people into their magical traps. There are no sub-races for the fairies.
Read about the pygmies.
The least popular of the Wirral races, the pygmies, are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live in small villages made of shoddy wooden dwellings. They spend most of their days tilling the earth and smoking their pipes. There are no sub-races for the pygmies.
Isn't this the game that I didn't open the box?
The options are you stuff it back inside the box. A colorful box with the title.
Let's put it away. This is the one I didn't open.
In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship.
Let's remove the plastic wrap.
The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance.
Oh my. Open the box.
There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components.
Very nice.
Savor that new board game smell. A mix of wood, paper, and ink, all wrapped in the sweet must of cardboard.
Oh, we can ask him to play. Of course he's gonna say no. Read the rulebook.
Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel.
Finally, a proper game to teach children about the importance of trade in the global economy. Finally, a proper game to teach Rivasholian children about their glorious history. Sure.
The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant.
Oh.
Everyone is smiling.
Which one is that?
You begin to suspect there may be a political agenda to this so-called family game. Only one way to find out. The instructions are opaque at first, and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout.
Good.
You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points.
How do you accumulate victory points?
That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they've placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. As you leaf through the pages, your eye catches on a sidebar labeled Advice for Beginners.
Yeah, read the advice.
Remember, there are many paths to victory in suzerainty, but successful players will find one strategy and commit to it wholeheartedly.
I mean, I guess that's generally a good idea.
Boring, boring, boring. Tear up this rulebook and commit some old school atrocities.
Isn't there any way to invade or commit atrocities or anything fun like that? How is the winner determined?
The actual scoring system appears infinitely complex, with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now.
Examine the components.
You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play.
And check out the wooden tokens.
In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safre, orange apricot tokens. From Ilmarat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, grey marble block tokens. From the Semenine Islands, white sacks of sugar tokens. And from Supra Muindi and Sarah Maritza, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves.
Oh, it's cocaine leaves. Okay.
Oh, those are nice.
Oh, hey. Look at that. Kim's getting into it. Punch out the cardboard pieces one by one.
Each cardboard token makes a satisfying as you pop it out. Soon, a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters has accumulated before you.
What? You're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out?
I would have offered it if I could. Put the components away.
You hold the open game box before you.
Hey, Kim, want to play?
The lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide.
He's actually taking a look at it. He's like considering it.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours.
Nice.
I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
Convince Kim to play with you. That would be perfect. Like, I mean, depending on how long it takes. I need more suggestion. Okay, I actually don't have any clothes that give me more suggestion. Except this coat here, but... let's just try normally.
The suzerainty box is heavy and slightly awkward in your hands. You give it a light shake and feel the pieces shift around. What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical inference, attention to detail, the ability to analyze your opponent's motives.
Come on, it might help us think of more creative solutions to the case.
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
You're damn right. Let's go in my room. It's right there.
See? He's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge.
All right. You've convinced me. How do we play?
I don't know. Let's wing it. I read the rules already. I'll show you.
You explain the basic setup procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be a quick study.
Of course he
You
is.
each take your bag of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you.
Right here, just outside. Can we at least go inside?
In the center is the crown of Revachol. Radiating outward are her colorful vessels, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain. Apricots from Safre, archaeological treasures from Ilmarat, sugars from the Semenine Islands, and magenta cocaine from Supra Muindi and Sarah
Magenta
Maritza.
cocaine. Are we like actually going to play this?
There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress in case you need to put the game away and return to it later.
Okay, that's nice.
The lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safre territory of the board, and the others to the Seminine Islands.
We're actually playing a board game together. We're like actual friends now.
All right, detective, your turn.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away, or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it.
Just do whatever Kim did. Try to fulfill a contract or let your workers rest for a while. Let's try and maximize production for future turns.
What? It's the very beginning of the game. Your workers haven't even done any work yet.
I mean, you said rearrange your workers, not let them rest. Let them rest anyway. Okay, make them work a little, but not too much.
That's more like it. You produce a handful of archaeological treasures and a smattering of other resources. Meanwhile, the lieutenant spends 2 of his sugar and 1 of his apricot tokens to complete his contract card. He is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token that he places in the center of the board.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points.
Hey, why don't I get one of those? Kim, can I do my first turn over? I think I messed up. Glowers silently.
The lieutenant returns your baleful look with a satisfied grin.
Oh, shit.
Come on, is that your game face? You're practically broadcasting your position to the lieutenant with that expression. Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. Those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth in them. After all, they're the ones producing wealth for the suzerain.
I mean, I don't know the actual rules. Are we playing like an actual game now? Is there like multiple possible outcomes depending on your choices? Because I don't understand the rules. Can you like make your workers faster and like invest in them so that like later on they're more efficient? Should you just go for contracts right away?
Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you.
Kim, what should I do? Invest in your existing workers. Yeah, let's do that.
To the lieutenant's puzzlement, you spend several turns building various improvements to your territorial infrastructure. Soon, your workers have access to clean water, paved roads, and basic hobbies. In return, they produce 1 extra resource per turn.
I mean, I guess that's something. Gaze on your workers like a benevolent parent.
Too bad investing in your workers just isn't worth many points.
What do you mean?
Take a look at the scoring tables in the back.
The lieutenant turns to one of those appendices you skipped over earlier.
You see in table 8C that investing in territorial infrastructure multiplies your final victory point total by 1, which is to say not at all. Whereas erecting monuments in Revachol gives you a multiplier of 5.
So you're saying the values of the ruling class are completely divorced from the well-being of the people who generate their wealth. So you're saying I should treat my workers like a disposable labor instead. So you're saying I fucked up. Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safre territory. Soon, his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. How can you let the lieutenant dominate you like that? You need to hit back, and hard. For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supremawindi and Saramaritsa, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. amplified music worth 7 victory points.
Well, we're big on amplified music.
You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression?
Rock and roll, baby. Go for the contract. Give back to the workers. Attack the lieutenant and steal all his resources. I'm bored with this. Rock and roll, baby.
It takes several turns, but you slowly begin accumulating the cocaine necessary to complete the contract. When you do, it practically rains cardboard coins on your side.
Cha-ching, Kim! Stack the coins in neat little piles to annoy the lieutenant. Let's do that.
Despite your conspicuous display of wealth, the lieutenant still has a formidable store of coins and resources. The end game is upon you. How will you spend the vast resources you've acquired for the glory of the suzerain? Flipping through the manual, you find the most expensive structure in the game, the Revacholian Victory Column, worth 12 victory points. If you can successfully build it, victory would be all but assured.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could try launching a trade war to crush the lieutenant's economy, or you could blow all that money on a public education system for your worker tokens. The choice is yours.
Well, only one of these is going to lead to victory, right? The victory column? Or I can say it's on Kim and launch a trade war, which he would probably win, because he's very smart. Or we can build a public education system for your workers, which will just cause me to lose, but it's a moral victory because I did the right thing. I feel like it says if you succeed at making the victory column, implying that like I could fail and not do it, and then I would just look like a fool. I mean, it did say to stick to one strategy, and since the beginning I've been kind of investing in my workers, so I guess I'll just build the public education system. Let's just do the morally correct thing.
There's a reason very few players ever attempt to build a public education system for their worker tokens. It's extremely expensive and never pays off by design.
Yeah, this game is like fucking rigged to make you feel like socialism is bad.
Your boondoggle nearly bankrupts the suzerain's treasury, and you suffer a significant penalty to your final score.
That's okay.
Ouch.
The lieutenant says, cringing at your spectacular failure. This stupid game is rigged. Huh, maybe I should have pursued a different strategy.
That might have been a good idea, yes. Now, let's tally up the scores, shall we?
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with basic addition and multiplication. After double, then triple checking your maths, you have your final score. -5 victory points. You'll be lucky if the suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for such a pitiful performance.
I've got 20 points.
The lieutenant looks up from his tabulations. He's slightly embarrassed at the point differential.
Well, there's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again.
It really didn't take that long. It only took like an hour.
Now, let's clean up and get back to work.
You hold the open game box before you.
Alright, let's put it away. Well, we got soundly defeated, and that's about that. So what else do we have?
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
Check the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen. That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect.
True.
Are you really reading that, detective?
I really need to know who this Dick Mullen guy is. I'm looking for advice on being a real detective. I'm just skimming it. I want to know who Dick Mullen is.
Good luck finding it. He's not much of a character, I think you'll find. Just a stand-in for the reader.
The point is for the reader to feel like they're solving the crime along with Dick Mullen. A crude narrative convention, but no less effective for it.
Start reading.
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights.
I like him already.
An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law.
Look, I can't judge.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description.
No, not Charlie Spillane.
Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
The cops released their prime murder suspect so we can find the real killer? Are you shitting me?
What's the matter, detective?
The lieutenant turns to you with a start. I don't know who's writing this shit, but I get the feeling they aren't experts on homicide investigations.
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever, be accurately represented in art and literature.
Except in this game, of course.
They're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think passes for police procedure.
Okay, so Mullen didn't do it.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana Deneva.
Nice, a dame.
And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
She's any man's kind of woman, according to this book.
Guess that's true.
Are you sure about that? Something about her gives you a bad feeling. What kind of secret is she hiding? You couldn't handle a woman like that. Look at yourself. You couldn't even handle your...
Oh man, that's a really high roll.
Stop. Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Nothing. Forget it. Go back to your story.
Now it's getting interesting.
Deneuve reveals that she was Spillane's lover, and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Tell me about the corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring. He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
I want to hear about the politician's son.
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
Well, I guess he's my main suspect for now. What about the art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
Alright, let's get on.
One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms.
Dick Mullen?
Yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch, the burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips. Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer.
How does Mullen expect to solve the murder if he's sleeping with witnesses? Nice. Get it, Mullen. I'm not sure I'm happy with this, but maybe the story will turn it around. Get it, Mullen.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Deanna Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you.
I killed your partner.
I love you." The name of the true killer. Always aim for the center of mass. Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
Can't trust a dame. Shake your head.
Who can you trust in this wicked, messed up world?
Your partner. Look at Kim. No one, just your own two eyes. No one. You gotta go with your gut. You can trust your partner.
The lieutenant gives you a quizzical expression in return. You go back to the story. When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood.
Double fuck.
Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already. Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullen didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars.
But of course, it's never like that in fiction. Like, if the heroes, even if they destroy a bunch of things and kill a bunch of guys, as long as they caught the bad guy, they always just get away scot-free.
Dick Mullen won't be sent to the clink for the sake of some legal niceties. The heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life.
The heat is on.
Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
Oh man, it's already 11. Okay, now time is passing way too fast. It's already past 10. I have an appointment. I figured it out.
So, who did it, detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Communism killed them, love did them in. The dirty police captain, the junkie art collector, the politician's twat son, Dick Mullen? I mean, from the description, I would say the politician's son had like a similar trench coat, but the art collector was maybe involved with Deanna Deneuve, and she also got killed, so I'm gonna say the art collector?
Could be. Who knows? Only one way to find out.
Finish the book.
You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed.
It sounds like a pretty good book.
You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued.
Uh-oh.
You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone.
Wait, 20? 20. How can you get that? You would need to roll a 12 and then have 8 points in reaction speed? Jesus.
Dozens of pages scatter across the ground. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
Stupid old horse glue. God, now I'll never know.
Too bad, detective. If it's any consolation, the resolution is almost never very satisfying. And on that note, perhaps we should get back to making sense of our own case?
All right.
In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity.
Put the book away. Wow, it's now 11:20. So where is that woman I'm supposed to meet? He said go past the fishing village, right? Past the fishing village until you see the boardwalk. Hello? Oh boy, what is going on here? Well, we're going to find out in the next episode. I'm sorry, I know this is like a really bad place to stop. Just before things get good, we might finally get our gun back. We have to go and confront Ruby. But this has been a very, very long episode, so I need to stop here. But I'm super excited about what's left to do. The gun, Ruby, the end game. So I'm probably going to play some more very soon, maybe like tomorrow if I have time, because I can't wait to see what happens. So interesting episode today. This whole thing with the airship and was quite unexpected. Still not too sure what to make of that. Do let me know in the comments your own interpretation of what happens when they pick you up. Like, what happens to Harry? Did they kill him? Did he just like go with the Mulholland turn? Like, what the hell happened there? I would love to know, and of course, if you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like. For every like I get, I will play one more game of Suzerainty with Kim. So that's gonna be it for me today. Until next time, I had fun playing this, hope you had fun watching it, and I'll see you in the next episode for some more Disco Elysium. Stay disco.